Hey, immigrant, tell me why you're coming to my hometown. Hey, immigrant, now you bring your people to try and settle down. Well, could it be? Well, could it be a better life? Hey, immigrant, now you're loaded into ships, sail to this land. Hey, immigrant, you can pray to your God, 'cause the king not at hand, coming here for a better life. Hey, immigrant, now you're loaded into ships, sail to this land. Hey, immigrant, now you pray to God, 'cause the king not at hand, will come in here for a better life. Hey, immigrant, kidnapped from your homeland, taken as a slave. Hey, immigrant, 200 years of service, then they set you free. Come here for a better life. Looking for a better life. Hey, immigrant, think back when the potato crop hit up and died. Hey, immigrant, now you came to this country, oh, little more than your bride, coming here for a better life. Say something, Michael. Hey, immigrant, now you labor in the field, harvest all our food. Hey, immigrant, they tell you to move on, when the work is all through. Just looking for better life. Hey, immigrant, do you remember when your kinfolk came knocking at the door? Hey, immigrant, you know that lady of the harbor always beckons for just one more. Just looking for better life. Just looking for a better life. Just looking for a better life. Yeah! Woo! Thank you. Hey, well, so I wanted to introduce Michael Laszlovich. He and I go back probably 35 years, and I signed up for this, and my guitar player was on vacation, my bass player is on vacation, and I called Michael, who came over from Gaspee, to save my butt, you know, and so we practiced one time last night, you know, so we're even trying harmony, you know? Okay, this is kind of a little love song. Well, tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Tell me why you do me like you do. Tell me that you love me and go steal all my money. Beg on me, take you back again. Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Well, tell me why you do me like you do. No, you look me in the eye, dropping tears in the night, saying, no, no, I've done it once again. No, them demons keep haunting me. Oh, my soul will not set free. Try to do what's right, most always seem to fail, and once again my life is crashing to the floor. Johnny, okay. Thank you. I don't know why, don't know why, don't know why. I don't know why I love you like you do. We've been down this road before, sometime happy, mostly poor. Think we hit rock bottom once again. I don't know why, don't know why, don't know why. I don't know why I need you like you do. You drive me to wit's end, got your back, you're my best friend. Guess we'll try to do this one more time. Know that demons keep haunting me. Got my soul will not set it free. Try to do what's right, most always seem to fail, and once again my life is crashing to the floor. You know that demons keep haunting me. They own my soul, will not set free. I try to do what is right, most always seem to fail, and once again my life is crashing to the floor. I try to do what's right, most always seem to fail. Once again my life comes crashing to the floor. And once again my life comes crashing to the floor. Once again my life comes crashing to the floor. Hey, thank you, Michael. Yeah.
Wow, listen up there. Even a hot day, it gets tight.
Okay, this song, this is kind of a new song for me. It's called Walk Away. This is one of them tunes about, you know, when you're young and old and you meet somebody that is like really hot, or a guy is a hunk, and you know, you realize he or she is really out of your league, and you just feel so lucky to be in this situation, and then they open their mouth. And then you understand, and then you always end up getting sucked in to try again, because maybe that time it's going to work out, and that you realize that's not going to happen neither. So this is called Walk Away. Make sure I have my right thing. Good. I drink my coffee black, like eating turkey for a midnight snack. Try to figure out to where I'm at, don't always stumble on my way back. But walking on a ledge don't feel like life falling down. Ventured into a web now to replay an old goodbye song. Well, last time I didn't quite understand what it was like to be in her wonderland. Blinded by love, I played to her demand. Free falling, her wish was my command. Did not realize the time for compromise has come and gone. Ventured into her web and left with a goodbye, goodbye song. I should have seen it in her eyes. The promise not to lie would only lead to disappointment. Not be satisfied, the voices in her mind would reemerge to ease the day. Only solution will turn around to walk away. Hey, Michael. A bit cavalier, said have to go but do not know to where. Played with my heart, said he always really cared, and told me secrets I promised not to share. And I believed that this time things would be so much better. Ventured into a web to replay an all goodbye song. I should have seen it in her eyes. A promise not to lie would only lead to disappointment. Would not be satisfied if the voices in her mind would reemerge and save the day. Only solution to turn around, to walk away. Only solution, boy, to turn around, round, round, to walk away. Well, to walk away. To walk away. To walk away. Thank you. Hey. So looking at around at basically the age of the crowd, 21 years ago, I know what you were doing at this exact time. You were watching TV, you were listening to the radio, you were looking at the internet because the second airplane had just hit the Twin Tower. That would have been maybe what? It's 11:30 now. It hit 5:30 our time. So yeah, we're about 6 hours into it. So this is a story about a young man who worked in a financial system up in the Twin Towers with both of his parents and all of his friends. Great job. And when the planes hit the towers, all of his friends got killed, and they were gone. And he happened to be at across town at a business meeting. Kind of right place, wrong place, but this is called "Leave That Apple Running." Well, I'm an orphan in the wind, baby in the wild. I lost my mama and my daddy, forgot how to smile. I'm just wandering, no place to go. Well, you can help me in my weakness, I'm just too tired to know. Well, fear is all around, you can see it in their eyes. Life continued moving, their memory kept alive with their smile. And just the way they were. Well, I'm broken hearted, lonely, looking out is just a blur. That's why I'm leaving New York City, bye-bye, thank you. That's why I'm leaving New York City, bye-bye. I'm gonna leave that apple running, ain't got time to stop and cry. Sorrow keep the picture torn apart from what's real and where true sympathy lies. I'd rather not talk about it, so much easier sit here and cry. They tell me it's time to buck up, face situation at hand. Step up to play my friend, try to be a man. That empty bottle, about all I can see. Well, head me north, head me south, or just head me, just let me be. That's why I'm leaving New York City, bye-bye. That's why I'm leaving New York City, bye-bye. I'm gonna leave that apple running, ain't got time to stop and cry. I'm gonna leave that apple running, ain't got time to stop and cry. I'm gonna leave that apple running, ain't got time to stop and cry. Thanks. Okay. You know, when I sang this song about a month ago here, and there was a guy with a hat on, red hat on, he was walking by, and you listen to it. The song's called Lies, and all of a sudden he was going, "Oh man, what a great song," and he was celebrating it. And all of a sudden I discovered that this song can be used by a whole bunch of people. Politically, it don't make any difference what side you're on, because lies are lies, which is kind of cool, I guess. Well, I should probably get my, I do have, yeah. That's one of the things, want to make sure I had the right key harmonicas. Real important. Well, they believed you when you told them how much you were concerned, that a life of milk and honey was on the line. Always for the better, and the better would rule the day, and the applause, the only thing that seemed to matter. Lie, 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 lie. Now look me in the eye, tell me how much I need you. Lie, 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 lie. Look me in the eye, tell me how much did you care? Take Johnny. When I think back on my childhood, you know what first comes to mind. It was a simpler day when a handshake had some meaning. Now there's an evil in the anointing, there's an evil that's a part of our lives, an evil lurking beneath the shadows, whose fate has yet to arrive. Lie, 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 lie. Ah, look me in the eye, tell me how much I need you. Lie, 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 lie. Ah, look me in the eye, tell me how much did you care? Well, there you care. There you care. Thanks.
And we do play that differently.
We do, but that, yeah, who knows, Will?
Yeah. Where are we going to put the capo on?
Yeah. Okay, this is a tune about fishing. A fishing tune. Fishing is a nice, relaxed thing. You're out in a boat, and then you take your dogs with you, you know? Okay, it's called dog fishing. There's some dogs here. Always like it when somebody brings up a dog. I have a German Shepherd, and I always put a little pink collar on her because they have a bad rap, and she's really friendly. But I heard somebody, a little dog comes up, just stay alone. And the first thing is like, oh, she won't bite, you know. And it's always, you know, which is a real good thing, you know. Yeah, you know. Have you ever had someone come up to you with a dog and they say, watch out, she bites, you know? And yeah, you know, yeah. So this is about going fishing with two dogs, German Shepherd and a Husky, spending all afternoon fishing in a 12-foot boat. Dog up, big dog down. Summertime is on. Sitting on the lake all by myself, holding down fishing pole. Sitting on the boat, we got a little bit of smoke, but nothing on my mind. Try that again. Sitting on a boat, we got a little smoke, but nothing on my mind. I don't really care if I catch no fish, gonna leave my worry behind. We'll got to dream on, we gotta dream on all day long. We'll gotta dream on, gotta dream on all day long. Little dog up, big dog down, I'm now sleeping out the day. Think about things now there might have been always seen, getting away. Driving in the water, they be talking to themselves, avoiding now my lord. We got no pole action, but the satisfaction of the day spent finding the cure. We gotta dream on, we gotta dream on all day long. We gotta dream on all day long. Wait, now, Michael. Little dog up, big dog down, nothing on my mind. They have gone and I'm drifting on another place, another time. Don't got much of life reward coming round the bend. Got this moment now to get me through, and time to understand. We gotta dream on, we gotta dream on all day long. We gotta dream on all day long. We gotta dream on, gotta dream on all day long. Okay, now we're gonna switch over. Michael came down, he plays slide too. So we figured, hey, we gotta do something with slide. You know, so we picked out 4 songs, 5 songs, 4 songs.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, go up and put it. It's right there. Yeah.
Maybe I should try to get it in tune.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Thank you, thank you. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Well, Grandpa waved from the tractor as he drove by, spreading on the field. White-faced cows, they were lined up hearing popping of the old John Deere. Meadowlark was singing, and Grandpa, he was bringing fresh apple pie outside the pool. Was simpler time back then, lived by golden rule. Well, now Grandpa Hunt's dairy was in Jerome Prairie, a few miles west of town. We'd go spend the summer now to me and my brother and then come all around. When days were hot, now we cool off in spot. The smell of peppermint filled the air. Simpler time back then, living without any care. Well, now morning would find me out of bed, rising with the sun. Grandpa, he was outside milking long before my breakfast ever begun. Time to think of the bad, it all seemed long, but never no complaint. 'Cause they had a little piece of heaven there. Grandma was a patron saint. Well, now the years have passed, only memories are left of them bygone days. And I sit with my grandson on my knee and think back when I was his age. And I hope and pray we get a chance to see some simpler things in life, like run barefoot through meadow, whittling piece of wood with a knife. Was simpler time, a simpler time. They were filled with laughter, a coat was just a dime. Simpler time, it was a simpler time. We were wide-eyed country kids with the world wide-eyed country kid with the world still left behind.
Okay. Yeah, we'll tell you a secret. We kind of just made it up in the last part there. We said, well, which ones we can play bass, which ones we can play slide. And so it was about 10:30 at night, and so all of a sudden, I have a list of slide songs, a list of bass songs, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do for each, and so it's just fun. And we get to play it different every time.
Okay, this is a song about coming home from war, and I think there's a lot of people that come home and the war still continues in their heads, you know. John Prine's song, "There's a Needle in Daddy's Hole Where All the Money's Going," pretty much inspired me about a friend of mine who's dead now, so I can talk about him, called Another Day. Don't know where I'm going, see me walking down same old path. Barbara came and then she left, said she wasn't really sure where she was at. And I reach out my hand, she just turned her back, ran away into the night, said she wasn't gonna fall into my trap. Could have been the years by the ocean near the inlet, overlooking the bay. Cottage built just for two, how we laughed and how we played. Well, times were tough back then, but we were we were tougher too. Good time to share by all, while the anger kept rolling right on through. Another morning, another evening, another day go by. Sometime bring you pleasure, other times it makes you cry. Most days you discover you're just there for the ride. All this is forever. There's always hope at the end of the line. Take one, well, it might have been the whiskey. You know, it might have been the pills. It might have been the shrapnel caught when we took that hill. I survived the battle, but my war keeps raging on. Another reason why she leaves me, and I sit here all alone. But I think I'll call her in the morning and check she made it back okay. And I'll try to tell her that just one more time, all them words I never can quite say. I'll invite her over, got some cards, I know the games she likes to play. We can sit around and watch TV, reminisce about good old days. Another morning, another evening, another day goes by. Sometimes bring you pleasure, another time it makes you cry. Most days you discover you're just there for the ride. While the journey seems to take forever, there's always hope at the end of the line. And while the journey seems to take forever, there's always hope at the end of the line. Hey, thank you. Okay, one more. This is Michael and I have done this one for way back. Lot, or
Oh, we're out over.
one, yeah. This that we did this song 30 years ago. You know, Yaski or
Totally
somewhere. Who
different than
knows?
today, probably.
Yeah, totally different than the way we're doing it
You
today.
never know what to expect.
Make sure I'm an egg. Yeah. Okay. Well, I've been walking down this road way, way, way too long. Well, been walking down this road way, way, way too long. Know these hobo blues, they got me walking down this road way too long. Well, I've been up and down this country way, way, way too many times. Fell in love with the ladies I know, they look so fine. Always on the move trying to have some fun. Man come around, set me on the run and I'm gone. Well, I'm gone. Well, I'm just looking for a bottle, nice shady spot to rest. Well, I've been looking for a bottle and nice shady spot to rest. Don't need no blanket, no summertime, we're time to best. Okay, Mike. I learned the midnight creep and how to sleep with one eye open to the night. Well, I stole a Coupe de Ville with a friend named Phil, drove half the state in fright. Well, now sometime it's better that you leave. Don't give the people no time to scream and I'm gone. Well, I'm gone. Here's hoping that my baby gonna take me back sometime soon. We're hoping that my baby gonna take me back sometime soon. We'll just think about that gal got me out. Well, at the moon. Well, I've been walking down this road way, way, way too long. I've been walking down this road way, way, way too long. You know these hobo blues, they got me walking down this road way too long. You know these hobo blues, they got me walking down this road too long. We'll wait too long. We'll wait too long. Wait too long. Wow, hey, Michael Aslovich, you know, way cool. Now we're back to bass. So I get to tell kind of, don't have a joke. I have a joke, but I can't tell it. Thanks, man, thanks. So this song is called A Lot of Good Men, and it's kind of dedicated to, let's see, Chuck Torliet, Red Davis, Ed Markham, and who was the other one? Rod Marufo. And in 1967, it was in early July, we all got on a Greyhound bus in Santa Rosa. We're from the Redwood area and went to Oakland for our induction into the Army. And then we got flown to Fort Bliss, Texas, you know, for basic training in July and August. And I knew how to type. And so I came home 2 years later. I got sent to a NATO missile command in Germany. And those four guys, they came home a year earlier in boxes, and you know, it just, you know, really, I think we were all pretty optimistic maybe in the 70s, but you know, things haven't really changed much. It's got a lot of good men. You have the right harp. There must be a fly hatch, or I need to take a bath more often, you know? Maybe I think it's a bath thing, you know? It take a lot of good men to fight a righteous war. It take a lot of good men now to fight righteous war. We'll start giving out the tickets, handing out the flags, by time that we start keeping score. It take a lot of good women, have them baby boys. It take a lot of good women now to have them baby boys. We'll keep the home fires burning, hold them close until they go. Need to sacrifice to keep us free. Take a few bad men, bring the country down. Well, just a few bad men now can bring countries down. Keep an eye on the trigger, the other on the sky. Time to get in line and join the team. They say they love the Lord, but their heart is filled with hate. Pray to their God while their mind screams with rage. Dress up the baby boys, give them rank and give them guns. Human, they'll be fighting overseas. It take a lot of good men, fight a righteous war. It take a lot of good men now to fight a righteous war. We'll start giving out the tickets, handing out the flags. By the time that we start keeping score, we'll start giving out the tickets, handing out the flags. By the time that we start keeping score. Thanks. How's our time? Oh, good, we're good. Okay, we're gonna make this one into like a 30-minute song then. Okay, no. This is gonna be a Grateful Dead tune, yeah. yeah. 17 minutes and then the lead guitar. So there's a tune. This is a tune about a cowboy from this area, actually. He was an outlaw. His name was John Austin Hooper. And in 1915, he robbed a trade in Woodville, which was the town of Rogue River at the time. And one of the unique things about this bandit, and he ended up, they were chasing him nationwide, is he carried around these 2 suitcases with him. And inside the suitcases were different costumes. And so he would rob like a stage with a cowboy costume on, ride into town, put on a suit, and walk over to where the stage came into town to see what was going on. And he had like fake beards and everything. And so this is called John Austin Hooper. And hope you like it. He grew up a tailor's son in North Milwaukee. He was a con man gifted with the magic touch. He liked the clothes, he was a hit with the ladies. How he could charm them with his silver tongue. His interest in disguise was an obsession, try and be someone that he was not. Took show out west, head to California, gambler and highwayman he would become. Luck ran out when he tried to rob that tavern. Shots rang out, barkeep lying on the floor. 20 years in prison was sentence handed down, locked in a Folsom. Quickly slammed the door. John Austin Hooper, where are you today? Who are you trying to be? Might be an outlaw, a sheriff in disguise, perhaps a gentleman from Tennessee. Suitcases travel as a wardrobe of props. Guns always seem to lead the way. Well, they're never really sure just who that robber was. What would it hand was always got him. Take the base. Prison doors open in the year of 15. Caught a train north to Oregon. Robbed a stage near Woodville, followed by a bang, grabbed the cash box. Quickly he was gone. And the crime wave continued, and the people had to ask just who was this most elusive man. Robbing trolleys in Portland before heading east, running hard with a law close at hand. No, the Yellowstone Hooper, well, are you today? Who are you trying to be? Might be an outlaw, a sheriff in disguise, perhaps a gentleman from Tennessee. Suitcases travel as a wardrobe of rocks. The gun always seemed to lead the way. Thank you. They're never really sure who that robber was. Money in hand, most always got away. Oh, well, that's sweet. Should be an A harp, but I got a G harp in my mouth, so we won't do that. Well, he returned back home to newfound affluence. Money flowed, good life was at hand. Set off his island along in Joplin, Missouri. Police were ready and quickly got their man. Sent back to prison where he worked as an electrician. Learned switches, turned on and off the lights. With the ladder, hopped the wall in the confusion when he shut the power in the middle of the night. He was living on a houseboat, floating the Mississippi Best Gal, Mary Beth right by his side. Posse, they found out where he was hiding. Their guns roared, John Austin quickly died. You know that guns roared, John Austin quickly died. One more time, oh, their guns roared, John Austin quickly died. John Austin Hooper. Okay, here's a fun one. Okay, hold your kids now. This is a, yeah, we got the right harp on this. So this is a COVID song, and it kind of didn't really start off that way, but there was a village in Thailand called Lapuri, and the tourist attraction in the middle of the village was a little park, and there were like hundreds of monkeys, generations of monkeys, you know, living there. And tourists would come and you would buy food and you'd feed the monkeys, and the monkeys would do little tricks and that, and then the virus came, so the tourists stopped coming, and the people who sold the food there, he said, hey, I'm not going to feed monkeys, you know, for free. So they stopped feeding the monkeys, but the monkeys stayed, and they got really hungry. And monkeys, this is called feeding time. Keep your children close. When the tourists came to town, they'd buy up bags of food just to feed the monkeys. When the tourists came to town, they'd buy up bags of food just to feed the monkeys. But when the pandemic fell, tourists came no more, bought no food to feed the monkeys. When disease was all around, tourists came no more, bought no food to feed the monkeys. Well, but the monkeys, the hungry monkeys, they remained. All the monkeys, 400 monkeys, they remained. I'll get a little bit. town. People came no more, they stayed home in isolation. A few children of the night broken loose, running free, no hesitation. Put your ear down to the ground, hear that pounding sound, the truth growing closer. Put your ear down to the ground, you hear that running sound growing louder. By the moment, 400 monkeys looking for food, they've come to plunder. 400 monkeys all looking for food, driven by hunger. It's feeding time, it's feeding time, it's feeding time. It's feeding time, it's feeding time, it's feeding time. Well, feeding time, it's feeding time, it's feeding time, feeding time, it's feeding time. Feeding time. So I need to be flat. This is an old song. What we were on, what was it that
Oh, it was a website called soundclick.com.
Soundclick.com. We had the #1 hit in the country for 2 days on this, you know. Robin Trower had #5, you know. And I think the only reason was because it's called Tired of Your Love, and this was a great breakup tune. You don't have to deal with anybody. You just sent him the tune, and the tune kind of, you know, said, hey, okay, I got it, you know, yeah. So, well, don't want to hear you call me baby. Don't want you in my house no more. Don't need to see your face, it just brings me disgrace. Don't want to see you walking out my door, walking out my door. There was a time I thought I loved you.